Hey guys, I wanted to just make a bit of a spontaneous video because I've been doing a bit of research recently and I just felt like making a spontaneous video about a certain artist that I've been admiring recently, and I wanted to just tell you guys about him and what I think. And it's a French artist, Claude Weisbush or Weisbush, I'm not sure. You'll see what I mean when I'm saying that, like, this guy has some of the most dynamic drafting I've ever seen, ever. This guy just packs so much of this visceral, directional force into his drawings. It's just too good to ignore, so I want to just show you guys some of these, and I'll provide a download link or something, or a link to where you can find them. But like, this guy, his life drawings are amazing, and he like captures movement so well. You see here how he's drawing multiples of the same thing to indicate where it's moving from. The hatching lines, they all kind of sweep in a certain way, which I just absolutely love, and I really admire it. So when you see my drawings, you might start to see a little bit of this guy's influence in them, but like obviously not nearly as well executed as his, because he is a real master of this kind of style. But I love how the lines all direct and flow, and they also kind of wrap around the forms as well. This guy doesn't animate, he's not an animator, he works with print. So he does these, and it's a kind of engraving method, which I'll show you. I'll bring it up because there's a video on it. I also wanted to cover him because he's not as well known as a lot of the other artists that you might hear mentioned a lot of the time, like Kim Jung-gi. I had his files on my computer and I couldn't find them for ages. Like, I couldn't find him. I only had his first name, and it took a long time for me to find his name so I could actually do some extra research on him and find out his process and everything. And I'm very glad that I did put in the time to do that, because he's starting to become one of my favorite draftsmen. So how he can work in so much energy into a still picture, and like how he exaggerates the pose. You see how he's like bringing it back here? It's amazing. I really like it. Here's a few more. I love the stance. You know, if you told an artist, draw a guy playing a violin, draw that guy over there who's playing a violin, they'd probably draw him pretty accurately, and you know, it would be a bit like, oh, well done. He looks very well rendered. But this guy, he has a creative interpretation. You can see he really feels the movement, and he feels the guy's energy and where it is and everything, and it's so like dynamic. Like, it's you as a person watching it, like looking at his piece, you can feel that too. That really amazes me, you know. This one is brilliant. So he also knows how to kind of use the composition and stuff to capture it, the angles and stuff, which I'll go into in a little while. But I'll just show you a few more. So he does a lot with performances, like sketching performances. I really love that one. Love that. I love that one. I love all of these, actually. A few of them I'm not sure if they're his, so I just need to I need to sort through these and make sure that they're his and they're not like copycats. But I mean, his style is pretty difficult to replicate without his skill. You know, he's got very skillful hand, and you can see that a lot of the stuff he must have used muscle memory, which he's probably developed for many years. I like how the instruments are kind of like a part of their body. You know how in sword play you'll often hear that they say that the sword is an extension of the arm when they do sword fighting, and I feel like in these the instrument is an extension of their own body, which is really cool. Close up there. I love how he draws hands and how he draws the heads and everything, and it works head to toe. Like from head to toe, it's all very consistent. I'm gonna get into it in a little bit as well, like some more of the details. I just thought I have to share these with you guys because it was a great discovery seeing these, and it really opened my eyes. This one's, I need a better resolution for that, but that's a tennis player. That's him at work, so you see his workstation here. So he does it all analog, and basically he seems to like engrave them into this. He does the sketches first and then he engraves them and then uses like an ink pressing method. Yeah, I really like that one. And I'm just thinking, if I could do something like this but for like sword fights or martial arts or free running, acrobatics, my kind of thing, if I could apply his kind of style to that, well, not his style exactly, but a take on that style, that could look so cool. Yeah, again with the multiple hands, it's a lot like in animation. Like this guy looks like an animator by the way he draws. He would make a great animator if he made an animation, because you can see he's already planning out the movement. He's already drawing down the different frames, and he's thinking about the energy and how it moves. I really like that one. I love that one. That's so cool. I love all the different poses they're in. And you know, he's also very good at constructing the forms in a simple way that's easily readable. Like you can read it straight away, you can see what's happening. But he can also just sculpt it. He's almost sculpting the forms. They don't look like 2D forms just by the way he does the lines, and he understands how the 3D dimension works. He has a very intimate understanding of the human body. These ones are really cool. Look how powerful that is. It doesn't feel like someone's posed, you know, it doesn't look like someone's just said, okay, take a picture of me here. It's like they're actually at work, they are doing something. They're not posing for it and then they get back to whatever they're doing. They are in the moment, and that feels really good to see that. I love the composition here. I'll go into that in a second. Okay, I think I've shown these ones already, so yeah, that one's really nice as well. I like how it's kind of, it starts with the feet and then it just shoots all the way up the body. You see these lines here, they kind of go all the way up the body, and it's like that. Yeah, it makes music look really cool. And the instruments and everything. So here I've got a few where I just thought I'd try and draw over them and see what I can find. You know, this stance is really nice. You see how it goes over like that. I don't know how he gets his lines so precise. Like, that amazes me. I've looked at the video of him drawing them, and he's got very confident lines, very confident hands. The shadow as well, you see how the shadow stretches off out of frame? That's a really cool lighting technique that I'd love to use more. Firstly, it indicates that there's a single point, a single source of light, and when there's like a limited source of light, it makes everything look dramatic because it casts shadows. The other thing is the light is quite low down, which makes things look really cool and really cinematic. So this has a cinematic quality to it, even though it's just a sketch. I feel like the shadow has done that. It's lent that cinematic quality, the dramatic quality to it. You see how you got the hand there, hand there, hand there. I really like that. And with the composition, you know, how this feels so like in motion. If you look, he's actually off on a kind of Dutch tilt, and then so is this. So that to me looks really cool. And a lot of the things that he does with his drawings, a lot of the figures aren't fully rooted by their feet. So the feet do not lie under where the weight of the body is. I've talked about this in a couple of other videos, but you see where you have the feet slightly off, it makes it feel very in motion, and I really like that. There's a couple of other examples. This one is really cool. You see how his feet are all the way over here, and then his body's over here, and it's like you read that and you're like, he must be moving. It's also an effect that Shinya Ohara uses, and I think because I'm drawing comparisons between the two in that regard, I think that might be why I like Shinya Ohara's style so much. Not his ability to portray things accurately, but the actual style he brings into the animation. Here's an example I can show you. So this is Shinya Ohara with Kid Story. In this scene, you see a lot of the time his body, especially in that shot there, see how his body is like, it's not centered with the feet, and that creates this precarious feel. You really feel precarious, and it's thrilling, it's exciting. Look at this. Do you see that? And you'll start to see it some more often. Look at that. His body isn't like on top of his feet. His feet are like constantly sliding out from under him, and it just makes you feel really on the edge, thrilling. So looking at this scene, you know, it's really entertaining to watch this guy escape. Yeah. So I know that he's a completely different artist and everything, but I just wanted to maybe examine why I might find the two of them very, very appealing in the way that they draw things. So part of it is the feet and how they're off center and off balanced. Yeah, so the other one is this one. I just wanted to show the composition for 1 second because the composition is so striking. I love how it's literally like this guy in the middle and you get drawn straight to him, and then here it goes outwards. There's loads of people here, but you just see them as some people. You don't see, oh, there's that guy and then that guy and there's that guy and there's that guy. They're just, you see them as like, they're people. These are people. This is the guy though, you know. So it's a very striking composition. Your eye gets drawn at once towards him, and it's a bit like a flower or something, or like a, you know, burst of energy. It's like a flame or something. It's a really nice composition because it creates a shape out of the people, and the lines help to reinforce that as well. You know, some of these lines, the lines here and the lines here, they're all going in that direction, and I think that helps to reinforce it. But really with these lines here, these hatching lines, I think that's what they're called, because they all kind of branch out in a similar direction, they unite the body. So it feels like the body has its own motive completely, and it's united and it's working together in unison. So I really like that, and I'm learning a lot from deconstructing these artists and seeing what they've done and seeing what do I really like about this, because then once you see that, you can let that influence your own work. But if you just see something and you say, I like it, it's a bit harder to do that, because you haven't looked deep enough. So you need to see, first you can say, I really like that, and then you can say, well, why do I like it so much? What is it about it specifically that I like so much? That's when you can start breaking it down into little pieces, and then you can take those pieces, and they're like gems, they're like diamonds for you to use in your creative projects to make them that much better. You've got to learn from the masters. I would regard this guy as a master. Yeah, and I'm surprised that he's not as well known. From what I know, I mean, I've only done so much research. I'm sure there are people out there who know a lot more. I'll link to his Wikipedia page. I don't know a lot about him, but I can see from his artwork, he's really inspiring. And I know that I've only been talking about one artist for this, and might seem a bit unfair when there's so many great artists out there. So here are some extra artists up on the screen that you can look at. These are also artists that I am really inspired by right now. They're great draftsmen. I'm thinking more about draftsmen right now than animators, although a few of these are really great animators as well. I'll also put Glen Keane on there because he's a big influence in my work. So I'll leave a description link to these guys as well. And I hope this video has been a little bit helpful to you, or maybe it was just interesting to look at and to see, what goes on in my head sometimes when I'm looking at inspiration and what I do to look at inspiration, Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for probably a more structured video next week. Alright, goodbye. So I'm just drawing the faint outline of where I think he's going to be placed, and part of that reason is so that they're all kind of circling her, and it means that their positions still remain visible to the viewer.